All right, we are live. Hello,
Live.
everyone.
Yay. Welcome.
Hi. Yeah, welcome, everyone. Welcome to our 57,000th edition.
Yeah, feels that way.
I know we've been doing this since the dawn of time. We've been escaping saber-toothed tigers and
Yeah.
giving people design advice at the same time. But yeah, we're really excited to have Mary-Lynne Williams here with us today. Let me say that again. Mary-Lynne Williams, who I have known since the saber-toothed tiger days, actually. It's been a long time. I think we met each other maybe at Razorfish. This was probably back in like 2005, 2006 time.
Yeah.
Yep. And so we're so excited for her to share her story about where she's come from in the tech world and how she's parlayed that into this beautiful career and kind of new life in holistic healing and sound baths and Reiki practitioner and all those kinds of things. So I'll give her full bio in just a moment once we have some more people join. But as always, I'm here with my awesome co-host, Jared Treadley, Erica Fortgang. The three of us are all New York-based UX and product design recruiters. Erica and I are independent, and Jared has joined Shopify in the last few months.
Yes. The dark side.
The dark side of the moon.
We used to say in the recruitment world, recruiters that went internal were failed recruiters.
Oh, really?
Such a terrible term. This is old school recruitment. It's failed recruiter went in-house.
Oh my gosh. That's funny. When I went from my first staffing agency into Razorfish, which was my first like in-house recruiting job, I felt like the most popular girl in school because all of a sudden you're like associated with this big name. Everybody wants to get in there. So they're like, oh, we love you. Bah, 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 bah. Like I was getting all these messages and I was like, Jesus. It's like, this is a nice feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were the days for Razorfish. I don't know how it is now, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they've been around since like 95, I think. Like
Good on them.
They've got some length on
Yeah. They were very, very early. What do we call it? We called it
Oh, all of a sudden we can't hear you.
Oh, you can't hear me?
Oh, here we go.
No, you're back.
Okay. I gotcha.
Yeah. Oh no, you're dropping out again.
Now. Shoot.
What's going on?
What if I take out those AirPods?
Yeah.
That seems to work.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. So as we're all getting settled, so if there's anybody here on the live stream with us that wants to share where they're from and what they're up to, that would be lovely. Mary-Lynne, where are you right now? Tell us a little bit about your environment.
Let's check to see if you can hear me again.
Yeah.
We can. You're good.
Yeah, it does make me wonder.
Okay, all of a sudden now we can't.
Yeah. No. Touch.
So this mic is doing weird stuff, but just keep me posted if something changes, and we'll just deal with the technology and we'll fix it on the fly.
Love it. We love technology.
By the way, I just wanted to ask, can I see who's in from my side of things, like, or the number of people or anything like that?
We can't see. No.
It's not just a mystery.
It's a mystery.
We need people to start messaging and telling us that you're there. Please.
If you're there, please let Mary-Lynne know.
I do
drop a
feel
little
that
comment
there are people here, but
on LinkedIn.
It's like there's a delay usually.
Yeah. So we don't typically see. There you go. A bit of inside baseball behind the scenes for anyone that's ever watched before. We can't see who's on or who's not. It's only if people comment that we would see it. But I have heard from many a person over the year or two that we've done this of, I saw that episode, I watched this, I watched that. And if they don't comment, we don't know. So it's really fun to hear that people are tuned in. And there's always people watching that maybe don't comment too. So
great.
And if you don't want to comment, that's okay. You don't have to. You can just observe.
And I just logged in to make sure I can comment if needed in case something happens with the mic.
Totally.
Okay, great. I figured that out. Erica, know if when you had trouble doing your YouTube login for joining the chat, there was a checkbox at the top that you had to check. I didn't check it the first time either. So hello, everybody. I see Leslie, designer in San Francisco.
Wow.
Tamara, Josh. Great. Hi. So where am I coming from? Where am I calling from? I'm in Brooklyn, New York. I'm on the edge of Greenpoint and Williamsburg. I'm calling from my sound healing center that I own now and run in between Richmond and New York. And I just happen to be mostly in New York now.
Mm-hmm.
Yay. Lucky us. Lucky us.
No, look at that beautiful background. That's a real background. That's not an image. That is an actual space you're in.
I know.
It is. We are a retailer of crystal tones, alchemy, crystal singing bowls, and they're the best in the industry. They're the best in the business. And the sounds are just especially pure, and they're infused with gemstones, minerals, and all kinds of stuff, like Dead Sea salt, for instance, so earth element.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just like candy.
Yeah.
They're so pretty.
Mm-hmm. It's such
Visual and auditory.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know.
Good.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and introduce you now, Mary-Lynne. Now that we have some people that have joined, and Leslie has been like a long time Design Unfiltered attendee, so it's really nice to see you again. Tamara, it's so nice for you to join us. It was really nice to meet you recently. Looks like Katie. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Katie Lee. Oh, your old neighborhood, Tamara. Wonderful. Cool. Well, without further ado, I want to introduce our incredible guest. Mary-Lynne Williams is the owner of Buffalo Firefly, which is a sound and energy healing center with 2 locations. The one that she's in right now, that's in Brooklyn, and also Richmond, Virginia. She is a Reiki master, practitioner, and teacher, a sound healing practitioner and teacher, an Akashic Records practitioner and teacher, and a mindfulness meditation teacher. Wow, you got a big resume going on there. Like your former life.
Like exactly like my former life. Just do all of it. I stopped doing trainings at a certain point after. And just started to focus on the things that I already had.
Right. There's 24 hours in the day, right?
Yeah.
So she's also an intuition and mindfulness coach, and she believes that her clients have everything needed inside themselves to heal and grow. Her work focuses on career and personal abundance, using tools contextually appropriate for each individual. Her sweet spot is helping you identify your own intuition and learn about your body's energy centers, as well as how to manage your vibe. We all need some vibe management.
Totally.
Through meditation, mindfulness, sound, energy awareness, and more. So maybe you can tell us a little bit about, and also in her former life, which is how I originally met her.
Yeah.
She has been a badass design leader for many, many years, so over 20 years in the tech industry. We met at Razorfish back in the day. She went on to become a design leader at Microsoft in Seattle, so moved from the East Coast to the West Coast there. Also was a design leader at Facebook and then at Zillow. And I like what you wrote in your bio, Mary-Lynne, where you're like, she'll always be a designer, but at her core, she believes that she's here to help people find their own path and their inner voice. So,
amazing.
Welcome. Yeah.
Thank you.
Nice to have you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So is there any sort of color that you want to add? I know that's kind of a very general overview, but do you want to give us like a little bit more color about, your path from design into what you're doing now? Because I think there's probably a lot of people that we've just met on these Design Unfiltered sessions that are, thinking like, what's my next act? Or maybe I'm getting like sort of disillusioned with the tech world. Like, do I want to do something else? Or do I want to moonlight? Like, I just think there's so many different opportunities for people. And maybe you can talk about your own path into.
Absolutely. Do you want me to go into a more detailed version of that before the centering exercise? Or do you want to do just a brief hello on that and then go into a little bit of a quick meditation mindfulness moment for everyone?
Why don't we do something a little on the briefer side and then we'll take the mindfulness?
Great.
That's great.
Sounds good. Long story short, I was a designer for years. I studied architecture. I got stressed. I was seeking ways to feel better physically, mentally, and spiritually. And I discovered a lot of different tools while I was in Seattle, especially because there's a lot of options and all, things for you to reach out to besides Western medicine when you're trying to feel better there. And there are in other places now, but more so then, it was really a West Coast, a prominent thing on the West Coast more than the East Coast from my experience. And so in the process of seeking all of that, mindfulness, meditation, energy healing, naturopathic, acupuncture, things like that could help me in ways that Western medicine wasn't able to help, I found that it was calling me towards it and away from the stress that had gotten to the point where nothing I was doing was feeling aligned with me anymore. It felt like I was better equipped at that time. Not that I was never aligned with the design work, but that I became better equipped at the time to move into this other phase of my life. And so I left and just piece by piece built up a business over the past 6.5 years, Buffalo Firefly. And here we are.
Wow.
Awesome.
What a journey.
Awesome.
Tenacious. Just going for it. Listening.
Always.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. You had to be tenacious to get to where you were in your former life. And now that's carrying over into this life too, of course. Right.
Yeah. And Jared said listening, but I ignored the messages forever before I actually did listen.
Yeah. It's a good reminder. We got to listen at some point.
Yes.
Hopefully before it's too late. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's so true. I feel like whenever I don't listen, like especially in recruiting, so much of the intuition and listening is around like people and their intentions and fit and things like that. And I feel like if I don't follow my intuition, if I don't listen to my gut, I usually regret it. It's like, oh, I knew that. And then I'm mad at myself because I'm like, oh, I knew it. Right. Yeah.
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 Yeah. And to that point about the stress, the group and I talked about offering a brief centering exercise meditation just at the beginning of our conversation. And I remember just in corporate career when I was doing it, it was jump out of bed, don't even grab breakfast, make yourself presentable, and like get in the car. In Seattle, at least, it was get in the car to go somewhere, and then just like arrive at work and in go mode, and then all day go, meeting. And I think a lot of the physical and mental ailments that I had were because I never paused. And so I wanted to offer that opportunity to you all today, just before we get started on the conversation of how all of this went for me and how it's going and how it could go for people who are looking into doing something different. Let's just take a moment. The critical piece of this is that you don't have to have a meditation practice necessarily, but if you just take a moment here and there throughout the day to be in the present moment, the exact moment that you're in, then it can help to replenish you over and over again without having to sit for 20 or 30 minutes at the end of the day when you're busy. It doesn't mean don't meditate, but you can bring this into your workday in the middle of everything. Take a pause at your desk and bring yourself to what is here. And so what is here are the senses, your touch, hearing, taste, smell, etc. And so we're just going to take a moment to be with the body. The body is always something that's present here. And so we're just going to focus right now on that. And I'll guide you through this. So if you'd like to softly close your eyes, you're welcome to. You can keep your eyes open if you prefer. Just take a moment and kind of like find yourself in your seat. You can wiggle a little bit and really feel your butt on the seat. Feel that sensation of the weight of your body if you're sitting, if you're in a chair, or if you're on the floor. And from that moment of noticing that weight of your body, start to bring your awareness upward into your torso and your chest. And you're just breathing naturally because you're always breathing. And just notice how the chest and the belly rise and fall. You don't have to control your breath to be in the present moment. You don't have to do box breathing or anything like that necessarily. Those can be helpful. But just taking a moment to notice that you're breathing. You might notice the way the breath feels going in and out of your nose or your mouth. And then just see if you can soften your jaw. Maybe you notice it's tight. If you really pay attention to it, you're kind of clenching potentially. Lots of meetings happening today, lots of tasks, deadlines. Just take a moment to maybe move your jaw a little bit to loosen it and then let it rest. One way to get your jaw to rest is by parting the teeth a little bit. And then let your tongue fall back in your mouth. Letting the tongue fall back helps kind of represent for your body that you don't need to say anything. You don't need to take any verbal action right now. Just let it rest. And then just continue noticing how you're breathing, if that's comfortable for you. If it's more comfortable, you can notice really just that weight of your body. And at any point in time, even in a meeting, you can bring your awareness to something in your body. Put your hands on your knees and feel your hands and the warmth of your hands touching your legs or your knees. And really just each time thoughts come into your mind, it's not a failure of meditation when you have thoughts. Thoughts are just happening. Brains are doing that. So each time thoughts come into your mind, the practice of meditation is just to notice them. Most of the day we don't notice that we're thinking. And so this is just a moment to go, oh, I'm thinking about the grocery list, or I'm thinking about that fight I had, or thinking about the next meeting that I didn't finish something, or just take it back to the breath, take it back to the sensations of the present moment. And you can even get in a little jar of essential oil to keep at your desk and occasionally just smell the essential oil, bringing yourself back to center, back to the present. And you can all go ahead and start to open your eyes again. And we'll begin the chat from a very slightly blissed situation. I was kind of going away.
Yeah. God, I could have done that for like another half an hour.
We need
By
to
the way,
to our day more, don't we?
just to tell everybody, after if you stay till the end, I'm going to play the singing bowls for just a period of time, and so we're going to do a little bit of a 10-minute of the sounds. So stay until the last 10 minutes, and you can have some headphones, and you'll get to experience a little bit of that.
Yeah. And that is a real treat. I went to Buffalo Firefly last month because I knew I knew you were going to be in town, Mary-Lynne, and I hadn't seen you in so long, and I really wanted to see what you'd been up to. And I was so needing something centering and relaxing because work has been so crazy busy recently in a good way, but also disruptive. And what I really loved about it was that you're so bathed in these sounds. Like it really is a bath. Like it's all these, like it's the beautiful bowls, it's all these other instruments and just kind of sound creating things that you have in that studio that really put me, and I think a lot of other people, we had a nice discussion afterwards, everybody together, of just being in this really blissful state that felt like sleep. There was some dreams or visions that were happening, but you weren't completely out. But it was, did you say it was like an alpha wave? Is that what that is?
The theta wave state, typically it's right before delta waves, which is sleep. Sometimes people will dip a little bit into delta waves in a sound bath, but the sounds hit the brain and just kind of entrain the brain to the frequencies, and the brain can't do other things when it's entraining to these frequencies. So it really slows you down and helps to activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which is not typically on when you're running around in the tech industry.
Yeah. No, it was I felt so rested, like not like asleep, like you're groggy when you wake up, but it was just such a nice, beautiful feeling afterwards. So yeah. So everybody please stick around for that. It's gonna be great.
Definitely.
I always think about it as like this childlike feeling when I mean, everybody doesn't have these moments as a child, I acknowledge, but there were times when I would be out playing like, kick the can or something, and there was just nothing else to do or nowhere to be and nothing super important. And it just felt easy.
Yeah.
Like you don't have your to-do list when you're a kid like that. So yeah.
That's really our natural state too. It's like getting us back to that place that we know, like that's home.
Yeah. That's why I think a lot of people buy into nostalgia these days too, of like, a band that you grew up listening to, or music you listened to, or movie you watched back then. Like, to me, it does take you back to like such a simpler time. It's the music, it was cool, is what you liked, I guess, at the time, but then also it always makes me think like, yeah, that was before to-do lists and task lists and emails, and definitely long before Slack.
Definitely. And I think also too, it's like we were able to get bored back then. It's like now we can never really truly be bored because you always have your phone, you always have some sort of technology around you, but like great inventions weren't made by being constantly tied to something, or that your brain is active and like it's this diffuse attention, right? Like just to let things kind of crop up naturally, and just to be able to sit there and be kind of uncomfortably bored. Maybe now it feels uncomfortable because we're so used to all the stimuli all the time. I think like just to be in that place where it's like you can just be, like I think that's where the good stuff happens. Like that's where it can bubble up too,
Yeah, we get this impression from society and from our jobs that boredom is failure, that you should keep going. But I don't know, it's dating some of us to remember before there was email or cell phones or anything but a phone that was attached to the kitchen wall.
I remember.
But those were the days, where things were like and TV was not streaming, and you just watched what was on, or you were bored because you didn't like what was on. And then you had to start to be with yourself and come up with creative things to do. And it's too easy to be entertained. And it's also wonderful how easy it is to be entertained these days. So it's,
it's
both and.
Those songs are coming back, actually. I just saw an article like this week, or someone was talking about it, that they're you can connect the what is it, the dial, the
rotary phone.
Yeah, people are buying them, and then you can sort of like turn it on, connect it to your phone, stick your phone in the drawer, like never touch it again, and then like it rings. And someone was like, what do you do with spam calls? So I don't know about that, but I think kids are really
sitting and talking on the phone again. But on a phone, on that wide.
What my boyfriend does, you can just start crank calling the spam callers and just kind of make it into like some performance art.
It's a bit of fun.
You can do that. So Mary-Lynne, maybe you could take us back. So just to paint a picture of kind of how you came into this kind of new life of yours, like this new focus of yours. Maybe you could bring us back, like the snapshot in time. You're this high-powered, successful, like you've reached the pinnacle of what every designer thinks is the top of their career. You're this very powerful design leader at these really big companies. You were at Zillow at the time. Take us back in time to what was going on with you. And then I'd love to also hear about what happened in Palm Springs.
What happened in Palm Springs?
What happened in Palm Springs?
Yeah.
Maybe take us back to that time.
And I think people use this phrase a lot, that 1,000 tiny cuts, just, and it could be used in the software choices too, but it's also just like the cuts that create just the stress and over time. It's never necessarily just one thing. But I definitely have an overachiever mindset. I grew up in a small town in Appalachia, but I wanted to move to New York City. I wanted to be something. I wanted to have this career as a designer, and I created that and I made that, and I just followed leads all along the way, and stress was just part of growing at that moment. So that felt just like what we were doing. And when I started my design career in 96, 95, 96, it just went through just like the repetitive patterns of noticing uncomfortable things that were never getting less comfortable over time. Some of them were, if there are any people who identify as women in the room, there are a lot of times like these moments where you really do feel like you're the only one in the room as you achieve leadership roles. And you often feel like you're putting on a performance to appear that you're like the male identifying folks in the room, but also simultaneously still being like the sweet, nurturing thing that feminine energy is supposed to be. And by being both, you get confused even about who you truly are from the center. And you just start to go like wavering back and forth between these. And then if you get too far on the masculine side, you get feedback that you're abrasive. And it's really, really common amongst women. I ended up running a lot of women's groups once I was in these leadership roles, just bringing all of like the IC designers together, other managers, and just talking about their experiences. And a lot of people just felt like they couldn't get it right because they were either too soft or too hard. And so I did experience just a lot of pressure all the time, seeing that there were fewer women growing into these director roles in design in the companies I was in, at least. And I didn't have friends in my leadership positions in that way. Like I didn't have other women in my companies. They were in other teams. Like they weren't working together because my team would be just all men. And so there's the Palm Springs trip was in 2019 when I was design director at Zillow. I decided to go to Mia's design department retreats. I don't think she does those anymore, but this was in Palm Springs, and a bunch of us descended on Palm Springs for 3 or 4 days for retreat, discussion, yoga, crafts.
Awesome.
And it was a women in design leadership retreat. So it was all, there weren't ICs at this retreat. And so it was all, I met people who were running teams at Google and Airbnb and Snapchat. And everybody was telling the same stories. And I felt like finally I was for the first time not alone, which was good. And when I came back from there and I walked back into the building at Zillow, it all felt surreal, almost like I was doing performing arts. Nothing felt, because we were away, we were together, we were feeling camaraderie in that way, but we were also feeling peace, retreat, desert energy, the poolside. And I got back and I just felt like I couldn't get passionate about what color the button should be anymore. Like it just make the button bigger thing, like make the priority was all these companies have to make money. And so a lot of times the priority is getting people to do a certain task to get to the money making part, and it doesn't always mean the usability is better.
Right.
It's sometimes make it worse so that they'll get to the thing that you need them to do. And it became kind of like I was using my gifts in design, and a lot of what I was doing in my career was the leadership stuff with, I was helping with like giving design feedback, of course, but there were a lot of just managing the team. And then as everybody probably knows from their jobs, if you're working in any kind of corporate situation, there's often like the stack ranking thing or the performance review thing. And there's always someone that's performing less than their potential. And then there are people who are doing great, the people who are amazing and doing great at that moment in time. And I'm saying that moment in time, because I think everybody has these waves of things going on in life. But the people who are not performing to their potential are sometimes what I found not even sometimes, that most of the time that they were suffering from depression, family issues, just had babies in the family, things like that, things that were really, really pressing on them in their personal lives. A lot of depression and anxiety was overcoming people that were having these troubles. And I was often managing people out who weren't doing well in those moments. And what I wanted so deep in my heart was to help make people feel better, not worse. And I was also finding all these ways for myself to feel better in my own stress. And I just had this, I did this Reiki training when I got back from Palm Springs. It was so powerful to me to be able to offer energy to people and see them calm down immediately and go to a rest state without the sound, even with just my hands. And I had to do it. I didn't feel like I had a choice anymore. I had been hinted from the universe so many times with different things that had happened that had pushed me to my limit over and over again. And I thought, oh, I'm just resilient. But at a certain point, I was like, no, I have to actually take this call and do this. And so it's been 6.5 years and I'm somehow still doing it. Through the hard times, through the like entrepreneurship and the, being a single, partner, solopreneur. Like I don't do partnership at this time. It's not, I like to really I don't like having a boss.
You did enough of that.
I've done enough. I think we all relate to that on this call too. Yeah. We've been independent for a while. Yeah.
So that's kind of how, that unfolded towards the end. There were a lot of years where I actually was very sick physically. Like I had to take leave of absence and things like that. And some of that led to even just the physical illness led to mental illness, just such severe depression, anxiety, panic, that I had to take time off from that too, because I was constantly telling myself I overachieve, climbing ladders and meeting glass ceilings a little here and there, but also being blessed with the opportunity to go through some glass ceilings too. But even that, there's all these expectations once you crash a ceiling. It was a lot, and I'm so glad that I did it, and it's an amazing past experience for me to have. I've lived many lives in this lifetime, but I really do love what I do now.
It's so amazing. It's so it seems so counterintuitive the way you explain it, of just, you're a designer at heart and you worked with so many designers, you led designers, managed them. It's their job every day to be creative, whether it's a visual thing or solving a problem. That's what they do. Yet you layer on this stress, this pressure. It's so counterintuitive to them achieving what they're there to do, which is being creative. You must have witnessed so much of that, of just these opposing forces. I need you to do this, but by putting pressure or whatever, it's not helping.
Yeah, exactly. And then what I noticed a lot more in my later career, and maybe that was partially just the being a manager, but it seemed like we were just in meetings all day and still expected to achieve the creative stuff. And it was challenging for sure.
Yeah, I could imagine. That's huge.
Yeah. And those women, and by the way, I just put in the chat, if anybody has any questions for Mary-Lynne, please add them to the chat and we'll get to them live in the moment. And we definitely encourage all of you in the chat who are here present, feel free to have crosstalk, communicate with each other. This is a community for everybody. So please add your voice to the conversation. It makes it so much richer. Going back to Palm Springs, do you feel that in talking with those women, I'm curious what those other women, these other, powerful leaders in these tech companies, what were they also experiencing? Like, what did you guys have in common? And then did you feel like that was the moment where you're like, okay, now I can't not heed the call? Was that like a pivotal moment? And just kind of curious, like what you were learning from those women?
I think a lot of them were experiencing either the sense that, either both. It's really both in a way. I think most people, no matter how high performing they are, a woman who's high performing is often pretty direct. In my many experiences in different corporations, where those of us who got into the leadership room were the ones who were saying what we wanted to say. Yeah. And that comes along. And if you were to take the voices and put masculine or feminine voice over exactly what the same people were saying in the same tones, you could hear a man say the same thing in the room as I said in the same tone and the same words exactly. And I would receive feedback that I was abrasive. Mm-hmm. And the other women were having these same experiences. And and then the softer spoken women were often being told, and they were very effective because they obviously got into these promoted positions, but they were being told that they're not vocal enough. And then if they shifted to vocal, a lot of times they're actually shifting out of their natural state, and then they fumble it because they're trying to be really direct and blunt when they're actually really soft-spoken, kind of more nurturing shade of feminine. And the more masculine shade of feminine would get the opposite back. And so we would kind of just like struggle with how to behave. I think a lot of people were like, I don't know how to behave. And then there would be these little moments that you would just notice new people that you worked with wouldn't always listen to your authority. They would listen to someone else in the room. So it's just classic misogyny stuff. That it's patriarchy. It's just patriarchy stuff that they train, even women, like, honestly, like, I didn't always listen to women either.
Yeah, it can absolutely be internalized. Yeah, but that's how you learn how to get ahead, right?
Yeah. And women in this industry also had the same. They definitely have the same problems where they're really biased against their own behavior.
Yeah,
you get twisted in your head. And by the way, I do see some nice comments going on in the chat. I'll acknowledge some of those about meditation in a little bit, but just keep chatting. I would love to hear from you.
Well, is there any advice? I mean, with those insights, obviously it's tough to fight in a complete, calcified patriarchal system, right? Like being one person alone, even a large group of people, it's tough. It's so endemic and very long-standing. But is there any advice that you could give women, either that are in IC roles, maybe looking to get into management, or who already are in management? Is that midnight? Any advice that you could give women as far as like how to not feel like they have to pretend to be somebody that they're not? How can they bring their true self forward and yet still, find success, whatever success might mean? Maybe success isn't, reaching that big pinnacle and like being the man to like, get there, right? But what would your advice be for women that feel that they're caught in that double bind?
On first blush, I don't have an answer. And then on second blush, I have an answer. And the answer is to spend more time in the present moment. Because if you spend more time in that, less of the fight or flight and less worried about the past, worried about the future, you're actually going to come across in a way where they feel your energy as very present. And I think that's actually probably what happens a lot of times is when there's confidence, there's presence. And when we are receiving these tiny cuts, there's a little bit of lack of like beats down the confidence and puts you into a worry state. And if you can continually bring yourself to the present moment, there's nothing to worry about in the present moment, almost ever. There is no bear. There's no bear. The bear is not chasing you. There's no tiger. And in the very present moment, there's almost nothing to worry about. And if you can continually bring yourself into presence, you'll come across in a way that you're really proud of. And you'll take away that little bit of anxiety. And it's a practice. It's over and over again. And like Leslie was saying, there's this stress and pressure on meditation that I mentioned, that it's the stress is that you're supposed to get rid of thoughts. Everyone thinks that that's what meditation is, and it's really just not. Eventually you can get to a point where you don't have thoughts in meditation, and it's simultaneously not the first, several times, many times that you do it. It's just an exercise of practicing. Yeah.
I'm curious, there was this kind of transition period for you where you're still working in your corporate roles and working in the design space. You're feeling unwell in yourself, but seeking like solutions to that. What were you implementing in any kind of practice or rituals or any ways to show up better while you were still in the design career before you sort of transitioned out? But you were obviously starting to find some way to make yourself feel better. What things would you go to? What would you lean on?
Well, definitely meditation for me was one of the things, but even just simple things. One of the things that I think got me through so probably like 2011, I think it was, when I took a disability leave for the I had Lyme disease. I eventually got diagnosed, but I was really sick and I was having trouble speaking, and someone's knocking on my door.
Oh.
Do you have to go?
I just have to check. Sorry.
Okay, it's okay.
We can hold.
Might be receiving a big, beautiful bowl. You never know.
Yeah, could be. Meanwhile, Midnight has entered the chat. I know who's going to be our next guest on Design Unfiltered. It's fucking Midnight.
I always forget that it's.
I love that.
I love that too.
No, it's great. It's all good. This is the beauty of like working from home these days, and all of us being in our spaces. Like, I don't know. I think it's just part of it now. For the most part, someone walks into the room when you're on a call with someone, or it happens.
I love that.
Part of it.
Keeps it, keeps it real, keeps it messy, keeps it real. Yeah.
Fresh.
We do have a weird timing situation. I've been getting a call over and over again, and it is the FedEx guy, and he has a bunch of huge packages that he's going to be bringing in. I'm going to try to not stay distracted, but I probably have to give him like a driver's license. But so
okay.
Sorry, this is Entrepreneur. Getting it live. I had the tracking saying these were coming tomorrow, so I didn't think it was happening today.
That's so good.
All good.
That's all part of it.
All good.
I love it.
Yeah, well, I'd like to say hi to some people that joined the chat too, so we can all kind of get connected. We got Josh Cohen, hey, experience designer in Philly, Caesar Bystrom, hello, it's so nice to see you, product designer in Manhattan, Ollie, product designer in Dallas, awesome. There's their link. Cheyenne, hello, digital marketer.
Love it.
And then Leslie Hampton. Oh, Leslie Hampton had a comment for you, Mary-Lynne, where she says, I like how you pointed out that having thoughts isn't failing at meditation. Switching your brain off is the extreme concept that makes approaching meditation difficult.
Yeah, a lot of people tell me they're like, I suck at meditation. And I'm like, what how so? And they're like, I can't stop thinking. And I'm like, oh, you're doing it right.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, you're doing it right.
Right.
Yeah. And I guess one of the things that I would say, in addition to just trying to find ways to be present.
Oops, sorry, you went out. Oh,
you're back.
Yeah, okay. Back. Yeah, you're back.
It is easier to become present if you are repeatedly finding ways to get into your parasympathetic nervous system. Okay. And it's not always easy to do it when you're constantly on fight or flight. Going to an acupuncture appointment, or getting Reiki, or going to sound baths. These are ways to be resetting it. And the more you reset it, the more it relearns itself, and you go from there.
Yeah.
What about for somebody who's just exploring? Maybe they're just like, going. Like this is, they'd like to do more meditation. They want to get into that parasympathetic state. What would be like, maybe like a entry level program for somebody? Like, is this 5 minutes in the morning? Like, how could people get started?
Well, a lot of people use apps and things like that, and that's certainly a way to just use something like Headspace or the Calm app. We actually have a class starting in January that's a 6-week class taught by Soleil Howell. It's on Zoom and in person in our Richmond location. And Soleil is actually the producer for Eckhart Tolle, Jack Kornfield, and Tara Brach, who are major meditation players in the world. And she and I took the same meditation teacher training for 2 years with those personalities. And she's amazing. And so she's doing Saturday mornings at 11 a.m. Eastern time on Zoom. So people could join that. And what it would give you is a repeated opportunity in community. Register for that at buffalofirefly.com if that's interesting. Yep, she's got a link in there. And then it gives you this place to go Saturday morning. It gives some really good teaching teaching you. and giving you some kinds of ways to learn foundations of meditation so you can bring your life. One of the things that has been so good for me through all of this is that I am able to sit down anywhere and take a moment and anywhere. So, and I can be on a plane and meditate for a while, or I can go and be standing in the Starbucks line and center myself. But it takes practice to be able to get yourself out of your head in those cases.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Well, we're kind of creeping up on our 10-minute to go mark for our singing bowl session. So we have a couple minutes for people's questions. This is your golden opportunity. What would you like to ask Mary-Lynne? And that could be anything about her career, about her current healing work. We put her links in the chat for buffalofirefly.com, as well as the 6-week course that she was talking about. So those are both there.
While you're gathering questions, I'm going to see if I can find him.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to be great if he's bringing stuff in. So maybe late the start. Let me see what.
Yeah, sure. If we have to start a little bit late too, that's okay.
Yeah. That's all good. We'll make it work.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mary-Lynne. Yeah, I mean, these are the times we're in, aren't they? I don't know if it's just I'm getting older and I feel like this awareness that the world is so much more anxious than it's ever been, or maybe it's always been this anxious and I just never knew. I didn't take as much notice, but I don't know. I think, especially in our tech scene, our tech space, I think these are really trying times for high pressure, high energy requirements. You need a lot of resource to be a high performer. Like I don't think it's natural and built in. I think or maybe for the rare few, but for most of us mere mortals, we got to really push ourselves, and it's not always great.
Well, and I think the more we push ourselves, the more we're in that sympathetic fight or flight state, the less we actually think about how to regulate ourselves, right? Like we're just not in that headspace of like, oh, I need to get present. I need to calm down. So I almost kind of feel like, is it something that we just like, we literally put it in our calendars, you know, like 9 p.m., 9 a.m. Like this is just like unadulterated. Like it's an appointment we're making with ourselves, because if we don't do it, we're probably just not going to be in that space to remember in the moment, right? So even if it's like 5 minutes that you just put in there and like you just make sure that you do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I definitely put like all things, but I'm way more likely to skip them because it's me versus like I have gym every day, but I haven't gone in a week. So I need to, because I know it makes me feel better.
It gets deprioritized in lieu of the work sometimes.
Like a meeting.
Yeah.
It really does. I've been working till like 11:30 every night.
Recruitment is, I don't know, it's intense. We work with some amazing designers and their role is extremely intense, but I also see a lot of great designers really carve out time to like invigorate themselves, to fuel themselves creatively, like going to a museum or an exhibition or taking walks. Like I do see those great designers have the ability to switch really quick, high intensity, and then take that kind of mental break and go to a museum. I think with recruitment, our struggle has always been, it's just high intensity all the time. It's not a lot of built-in breaks for like, it's not in the job to go to a museum and fuel yourself.
But I think if we make it part of the job, right?
Correct.
Like,
yeah.
I remember I went to, so as a singer, I remember my singing coach would say like, it is not a luxury to get a massage. Like it is actually really important for your body to feel relaxed because your body is the instrument. Yeah. So your assignment is you have to go get a massage. It's like, okay, you know, and then I was in the chorus at Burning Man years ago. And the chorale director was like, your assignment tonight is to go out and dance, which was easy to do at Burning Man because it's just like basically one big rave. But she's like, I want you to get the beat in your body. And like that's how you become better at whatever it is you're doing. So, you know, I think to do these moments of centering and being in the present moment, I think if we can stop thinking of it as like, oh, that's a luxury, I'll get to that when I can. Right. But rather like this is essential to me being able to do this well and to do it long term and not burn out. Yeah. It's just, you know, that's a shift, but I think it's so important.
So important. See, I know we're running out of time and for the session, and we'll definitely have time for Mary-Lynne. Lauren Dillard, additional folks looking for jobs in the market right now. Well, the theme of today is take some space for yourself. If you look 24/7, I don't think you'll find it. Yeah.
So I don't know if you want me to still do this. Do you have time?
Yeah, we have time. We would love it.
There's going to be some noise in the background, I think, because he is bringing these boxes up, which is great. And he's putting them in the hallway. So, but I kept the door open so he can see and know what's happening here. But, I have my watch here. I wanted to quickly just address the non-tactical issues for seeking jobs right now in the market. Mm-hmm. If you're up for it and it's not too far out there, start to look into how quantum physics works and how you can start to do thought shifts, thinking shifts, manifesting through the way that you think, because I've really experienced some magical changes in my life and my clients' lives. Things like, if you look into Joe Dispenza, who meditated his way out of a spinal injury by visualizing it healing, and he was told he wouldn't walk if he didn't have surgery, and he walked away from it. These things can be really powerful because in quantum physics, like attracts like. So if you can get yourself and manage your vibe, get your vibe into the mode of, I already have my dream job, and just repeatedly do it over and over again, no matter how silly it feels or how defeated you feel. Doing that is definitely useful. But I also wanted to just say, for people who may not be asking this question, who are potentially looking for something to get out of their current job, we talked about this on Monday, just their current career, even doing something like a major shift like I did. Start it out like a side hustle if that works for you financially. I didn't do it all at once. I didn't get to this point where I have 2 healing centers in 2 cities in one fell swoop. I did it slowly over time, and save up and know that you probably don't want to be an IC designer when you're 75. You probably, as an overachiever in this version of your life, you're probably going to want to be doing something fun when you're 70. That's work. You're still probably going to want to work. And so find that thing. And somebody mentioned somebody opening a wine store, or, start a little retail business for some products that you're really passionate about, something like clean skincare or whatever it is that is something that you're really passionate about, and kind of go from there.
Love that. Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Great. Well, it looks like we have 4 minutes. Would you like to do some?
Yep. I'm going to sign this little thing here.
Look at that setup.
Sorry.
It's beautiful.
I know. It's so cool.
Okay.
That's great. I've never actually done a full sound bath. I've never been to one of these sessions. I'm a drummer, so I'm constantly bathing myself in horrible sounds. But
You're saying you need to practice a little bit, Jared?
Yeah, more than a little bit. A lot. Always want to be better.
Oh my gosh, we should do a Design Unfiltered field trip to Buffalo Firefly sometime.
Oh
yeah, definitely.
I was just gonna say, we need a field trip, Joanne.
We do corporate events, so anybody thinking about something like that, we can do corporate meditation groups for a team, or over Zoom, or we can do things in person if you're in New York. Okay, so just testing the sound. You can hear? Amazing. Okay. What's my cutoff time?
2 o'clock, so we have about 3 minutes.
Okay, so we're going to just play the bowls for a few minutes just to give you all a sense of what they are. doesn't come across that perfectly over this particular streaming service. It actually does work really well over Zoom. And so feel free to join us over Zoom or call us up to create some kind of a mindfulness program for you or for your people, for your teams, for yourself personally, for your family. We'll find a way to find something like this locally. Definitely all sound baths are not created equal, so just being cautious about facilitators' experience is really good to do. Just take this with you to your next part of your day, knowing that you have the power to bring yourself into the present moment at any time, because it's all that exists. And all possibilities exist within that present moment.
Thank you so much, Mary-Lynne. It was so awesome to have you. Wow, what a beautiful way to end the session. Can we just end every Design Unfiltered that way?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was beautiful. That was lovely. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Make it like a ringtone or something. I would turn Ring on my phone for that.
I know, right? You get instant bliss every single time somebody calls you.
Yeah.
There's a couple of questions. Do we have a couple of minutes for me just to quickly read those and address them?
I have a couple minutes. Do you guys have a couple minutes?
You can drop for a couple. Yep.
Yeah.
Have you worked with people that don't connect with sound? I was reading recently about people that don't ever experience a physical connection with music. I'm a music hobbyist, so it's easy for me to understand the idea of connecting with sound for wellness and meditation. I typically don't generally deal with people who don't have this physical connection with music, but sometimes people have had bad sound bath experiences, which I alluded to before, where the practitioner has played maybe the lower quality frosted bowls or like played them too loudly and has created an uncomfortable situation or maybe really bad headaches. I always encourage people to try to go to a Crystal Tones bowl sound bath with these really good quality, or maybe Himalayan bowls. They don't get quite as loud. Before the Palm Springs trip, did you already have a meditation practice? Yes. And what did regrounding look like for you prior to Buffalo Firefly? Regrounding looked like baths. Going in the bath, for instance, and just paying attention to the water in detail, just really looking at the water, really feeling the water, really feeling the moment. Eating my food very mindfully, not every time, but just saying like maybe one time I'll take a piece of chocolate and really taste it, really feel it, really notice every little bit. That's something you can do easily while you're at work, is make a mindful moment out of a snack. Mm-hmm. And it's more powerful than you think to just come back to the moment even for just 1 second. Great. Okay. It looks like I appreciate the insights and the hurts.
Yeah, good stuff.
Nice. I like that.
Thanks.
Awesome. Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Any questions, just reach out to me. I'm happy to DM back.
Yeah. And this is going to appear live. Oh, sorry. What was that?
And just thank you all for having me.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you
for being here, and for everybody who's tuning in either live or afterwards. This will be on LinkedIn, so if you have questions, feel free to ask them in the comments section. And then Mary-Lynne, maybe you could pop in there if you see them, if you want to answer them there. Please visit buffalofirefly.com if you'd like to find out more about her events that she's doing, things that she's selling online, all of that beautiful work that she has been up to. You can find her there. And hopefully we'll see you in person again soon, Mary-Lynne. That would be so fun.
Hope so.
Love it.
Thanks. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye. Bye.